A first league game at Elland Road since 2004 awaits for us this evening, and if that wasn't exciting enough, our brand new record signing, Ruben Diaz, is in the squad to face Bielsa's Leeds United, who, safe to say, have rather impressed in these early stages of the Premier League, have had no problem scoring goals since they were promoted and joined us this year. Manchester City take on Leeds at Elland Road at 5:30. This is We're Not Really Here. And welcome to We're Not Really Here. My name is Spellman, with me Kyle Walker, and joining us today are none other than club legends Shaun Goater to my right and Richard Dunne to my left. Richard, great to have you back. How are you, sir?
Great, yeah, really looking forward to today's game. I think, like you say, Leeds have started the season really well, so it'll be an exciting match, hopefully.
Really will indeed. And Shaun, pleasure to have you back as well. Looking forward to the fixture that awaits.
Yes, I am. It's been a long time since we've been able to, hear the old Leeds. I know there's no fans there, but hear the old Leeds chant. I'm looking forward to this because, again, managers both respect each other. Be an interesting game.
It definitely will be, and Leeds are a huge team, Richard, and you've seen them over the years fight to get back into the Premier League, and they're finally here, and what a game to come up against. Manchester City, the dominance we've had over the past 10 years, they're definitely going to be up for this, aren't they?
Definitely, yeah, and we've seen them against Liverpool in the first game when it was a really tough start for them, but they performed brilliantly, and since then they've gone on and got two good victories. So the game today again is another probably free hit for them. They can go at it, and they've got 6 points in the bag, and they'll play with the style they've played for the last couple of years under Bielsa. So it'll be a real test for City today.
I mean, are you surprised at how they've managed to kind of take that form from the Championship into the Premier League, Shaun, or no, not really?
I am, in all truthfulness. Yes, I know that Pep is really raved about him, about Bielsa and his style and what he's about. But I have been surprised. But I also admire it because they've gone into this, and they're coming to the Premier League and they've just been free spirit. They're attacking, throwing numbers, as Richard sort of mentioned regarding Liverpool. And I was just really amazed in the energy they had going forward, the excitement about their game, and which is why I really look forward to today's game as well.
It must be a scary opposition coming up against Leeds because they've almost got nothing to lose, Richard. They're here in the Premier League. They've waited so long, but it's almost a free hit for them. They're just coming up and they want to show the world what they can do.
That's it, and they've got success with the way they've played over the last couple of years. They've really imposed themselves on games. They've dominated possession. I think they had more possession at Anfield than Liverpool did. So it's they're not afraid, It's the same when we won the Championship back in 2001 or something like that. We played a free-flowing football. We scored loads of goals, and we came to the Premier League and we had that confidence to go and play. Obviously, it's hard. You get beaten, you lose some games which you're not used to, but you're going into games with confidence and freedom to play, and you believe that you can continue to do the thing. And over the course of the season, if they play as they are, they'll be more than fine, I'd imagine.
A really exciting prospect awaits for us at 5:30. We did announce at the start of the show that we are going to be treated to our new record signing, gracing the pitch for his Manchester City debut. Ruben Diaz starts at centre-half, but who is going to be joining him in on the first team sheet? First team lineup. Kyle Walker, over to you, my good sir.
Right, the starting lineup we do have, it is Edison in net, and then we've got Benjamin Mendy. Ruben Diaz is starting, the new boy. His first week in Manchester, and he's got the opposition of Leeds today. Aymeric Laporte, or I'm Eric Laporte, if you would have seen on his Twitter this week. Kyle Walker joins them. Then we've got Rodrigo, Ferran Torres, Kevin De Bruyne, Riyad Mahrez, Phil Foden, and Raheem Sterling. So interesting, we might see Raheem Sterling in that striking position once again. Substitutes, we'll just go through those. Zach Stefan, John Stones, Nathan Ake, Bernardo, Fernandinho, Liam Delap, and Cole Palmer once again. We'll come on to those in a minute, but Shaun, we need to talk about Raheem Sterling. Is he a striker for you? We know he can get goals, but do you see him as a centre forward?
Well, Raheem scoring goals. So he's a forward, and this is how they class, or when they talk about players across the front line, they call them forwards because they score goals. Raheem is what he's learned in his game, and what Pep has taught him is that he's been adaptable to be able to go and play up front. What I like when he does play up front is that he's got this agility to his game. So normally you come up against a player that is 6'2". Yes, they're quick, but are they as agile? So this is where he can get his yard when he makes that first 2 or 3 yards, but his intelligence, we know, is going up to another level. I just like seeing him in and around the final third because, he's asking questions now.
Definitely is. Richard, we need to talk about someone that you might know of their position, centre-back, being both centre-backs. Ruben Diaz, what a debut this could be for him against Leeds, being thrown right in the deep end, the Premier League. He's going to be up for it though, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm sure, and he's obviously fit. He's been playing for his club as well, so he's coming into the game ready to go, and it's tough coming into a new club and trying to make connections and partnerships with centre-halves and other players in the team, but from all reports, what he is, he's a leader. He's someone who's going to organise the defence, which is probably what we've been crying out for a while. So himself and Laporte have the makings of a really good partnership.
They definitely do, and we can see images of him in training this week. He was straight in there, but he means the business, Kel. He's here, and he's going to be hopefully. Scoring goals, was that? No, that wasn't him. That wasn't.
I was going to say, yeah. I've seen some pictures of Ruben Diaz going, he looks a fine specimen of a man. Big as I'm going, definitely looks a bit smaller there on that clip. But no, Richard, is quite funny because, and I think I'll speak for all of us here, when we had that game, we won't dwell on it, the Leicester game, we were crying out for a Richard Dunne in defence, I thought. But obviously, I mean, we talk about the defensive side of the game, but that leadership and that communication that I think Laporte does bring as well, but unfortunately he was injured. How important is that, not just to the defence, but also kind of the team, because you're really the backbone and the foundation, really, I guess.
It's massive for Man City because of the way that we play football. We want to be in control of the ball. We want to be always forward thinking and pushing towards the opposition goal. The transition to then defend quickly is difficult. So if you've got a defender who's always on it, always thinking, well, what could go wrong? Where should we be? Who should be covering in front and behind? It's massively important. And go back to one of the goals we conceded last year against Chelsea when from the corner, I think it was Mendy and Gundogan were at the back when there was nobody organising. All it was right, you take him in front, I'll cover behind. But there was no organisation. Both guys go for it and they break through and score. And you imagine with a leader at the back, someone who's strong and focused on the defensive side of things, he'll look at that and go, right, I'm going to drop off 2 yards. When it comes out, it's your man. If he gets past you, then he's my man. But you get back and cover me again. It's important to have that organisation, and hopefully he's the one who can do it, and he's signed for 6 years, which is great.
Very exciting.
It is indeed. Sean, let's talk about this team that he's joining, because Manchester City, we're chasing that Premier League title once again. We did have that little blip against Leicester, but having someone like Ruben Diaz in this team, it's going to shore things up. So moving forward, hopefully we'll get that Premier League title back.
Yes, exactly. So I want him to hear this first. Diaz, Diaz, Diaz. There you go. Hey, yes, listen, Ruben coming in, the club has been looking for this centre-back. He's now come in, and I like to think about Richard's talked about partnerships. He'll be looking to formulate this partnership. Laporte, we've got there as well, who's obviously being very consistent. We've got Ake, who's also there as a player, so wherever that is going to be. But more importantly, we've got this player now. We think we'll fill this gap that Vincent Kompany left, and I think we can move on now to being solid at the back. As Richard said, the communication happening, and then being able to keep that sustained pressure.
So very exciting for all us City fans, and we are going to see him gracing the pitch at 5:30. Now, some of you may have seen this, but if you've not, there was some great footage put up on Manchester City's website of his first day around Manchester City, and we wanted to bring you this little clip because I can speak for myself, and I'm sure all of us here. When I heard this, I thought, yes, we've got our man.
I'm a player for the team, for the fans, a player that loves this family spirit that I'm feeling it a lot since I've been here, and I'm an aggressive player. I love what I do. I love the game, and that's it. I think without getting in much detail, because that's something you will see when I start playing. I think the most important thing to say is that I love to win, and that's the thing you most need to know about me.
Very serious there from Ruben Diaz. Sean, he means business.
He means business. He says he likes to win. And I'm convinced when I'm looking at him and thinking, this man's a winner. This man's a winner. And he tells you there that he's got this aggressive side. All defenders have an aggressive side. Donny and I would have a joke and a laugh, but he would slam me in training. And I really love what I've just seen in that. It tells me a lot about him.
I think so. And also, I feel like you still haven't got over that, Sean. Shaun. It's okay. It's all in the past.
Still ice in it.
Also, I want to give a special mention to Greek. He works behind the camera on this show, but he's the man that conducted that interview, and I was very impressed. So he's going to hate that I mentioned that. Final word on Diaz, though, there. I mean, Richard, to come into a team, he's been here less than a week. I mean, I was very surprised that he did his interview in English. But, I mean, how big is it that he seems so assured and confident, given that he has only been here for 4 or 5 days? I feel that's quite surprising, really, for a new player at a big club like City.
Yeah, he's played for a huge club in Benfica previously, you know, so he understands the pressures of clubs and the pressures of being expected to win every game. Coming into the club when the club has just spent so much money on you gives you confidence in itself, and I'm sure he would have spoken to the manager, who will have told him you're exactly what we need, and given him the confidence and the ideas of what he will do at the weekend. And it's great. He's coming in, he like you say, he looks confident, he looks serious, he looks like he wants to win, and it's about taking that now and producing it on the pitch. And it's not going to be always perfect, because there is bedding in periods for all players, and the Premier League is a lot quicker than the Portuguese league, so it will be difficult at times, but he has everything. He has all the attributes. He seems to have them anyway, and so we need to give him time, and hopefully he can hit the road running, and we'll be delighted with him from day one.
We will indeed.
We will. Now, we've gained a centre-back in Ruben Diaz, but we've lost one in Nicolas Otamendi, who's gone the other way to Benfica. Richard, I've got to just touch on this with him, because he's given us so many incredible memories. He's been here for a long period of time, and he's won so many trophies with us. He is going to be missed.
Yeah, and I'm sure he'll be missed around the dressing room. You know, he's been a popular player for all managers who have had him, and he's done well. He's won trophies. He's been aggressive, but he's probably been maybe more of a ball playing centre back, someone who does take risks, and from time to time he can make errors. So he's done amazing here, and he'll continue to do well at Benfica.
He knew how to score a goal as well, didn't he? You just seen him there scoring against Manchester United, and I've definitely seen him with that big smile plenty of times around Manchester City, lifting that Premier League trophy. What a man. That's what I say. Thank you to the General.
Thank you to the General, indeed. And a trophy-laden 5 years here at Manchester City. A personal favourite was that 17-18 season that he had, where he was just absolutely unstoppable, and I think at times really carried the team when we needed to. So, echoing Cal's words, Nicolas Otamendi, we will miss you, and thank you so much. Now, one man who we always like to hear from before the game, of course, is our manager, Pep Guardiola. We can now hear his thoughts ahead of the game against Leeds at Elland Road.
New signing Ruben Diaz goes straight into the side. What are you hoping for from this new centre-back pairing?
Well, as soon as possible he starts, better will be, better he will adapt. But Eric has some niggles and in the hamstrings, and John was out for 10 days, so just a training session, so we don't have much more options.
What are the qualities that Ruben has that you're looking for?
But I think he has a good personality. Is good in the header, good in the build-up. Is intelligent in the movement, tactic way. So, yeah, that's why we make a good effort. Thanks to the club to bring him here. And but we cannot forget he's 23 years old, so he's young. So we have time to improve.
You've spoken very warmly about Marcelo Bielsa in the build-up to this game. How much are you looking forward to the tactical battle that will take place?
Well, will be. All the teams from Marcelo are so intense, but it's not just run for run. They have an idea, and what they do, you see there are a lot of work behind. The 4 times I play against his teams always was so difficult. Will not be an exception. But we know it's Premier League. We know in every game it's different approach in the terms of the opponent playing different ways, different quality of the players. But it's what it is.
You had a bad day last time out in the Premier League. How important was the Carabao Cup in midweek, a step forward in terms of getting back to where you are?
Well, of course, win is good. We are still alive in this competition, and in December we're going to play in London against Arsenal. So, yeah, it was important after the defeat. But there are different competitions, so for the mood is good, but you know the reality in the Premier League, and it's just our 3rd game. But of course, you have to try to recover. But Bernardo has come back since a long time, but still we have players out recovering for the COVID-19, and hopefully after international break we can start to have a squad. But so far I don't have many complaints about the desire of the players to try to do their best.
Lastly, in Spain, when you came up against Bielsa, you played out a 2-2, which is still talked about to this day as one of the best games ever in La Liga. Might we see something like that today?
No people. So we're playing San Mamés. San Mamés is one of the most beautiful stadiums in Europe. Football will not be the same until the people can come back. So it's nice. You have to. The show must go on. You have to do it. It's good to be here, but football without people is not the same. Will not be the same. Hopefully, the scientists can find, a little bit the solution, and the people can come back and enjoy this beautiful game. Without them, it's nice, but it's not the same.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Pep. Cheers, son.
Pep Guardiola there talking all about the clash today at Elland Road as Manchester City travel to Leeds to face Marcelo Bielsa's Leeds United. We have got their squad as well, so we can go through that one just here. So starting for Leeds in net, they have Elland Road, then they have Liam Cooper, Robin Koch, and then they've also got Luke Ayling, Calvin Phillips, and then they've got Alioski, Stuart Dallas, and then they've got Cleese, Helder Costa, Tyler Roberts, and also up top their main man Patrick Bamford right there. Plus substitutes, they've got Ian Poveda, Diego Llorente, then they've got Rodrigo Marino, Pascal Strojic, and then they've got Leif Davis, Elia Capriel, and Jamie Shackleton. So they're going for this. Sean, one man I want to talk about, Patrick Bamford. He knows how to put the ball in the back of the net. He's going to be giving Man City's defence problems today.
Yes, he is. And, he offers a bit of pace. Perhaps some of the Leeds fans have doubted him and thought, well, will he be able to answer the call of scoring the goals consistently? But he started off brilliantly. And this is what he would want, having come from the Championship and with Leeds coming into the Premier League, is to get off the mark as a striker, get a couple goals. So he'll be very much looking forward to this game and wanting to show and highlight that, he's more than capable of playing against world-class defenders.
I guess one of the questions I wanted to ask you, Richard, and it's funny this because usually we'd say when we come up against an attacking team, that suits us better because it might leave us more open. But just given our frailties at the back, suddenly you're asking questions where actually, is that better suited to City? Coming up against a Leeds team that we know do attack, and you mentioned at the start of the show, score a lot of goals. Do you think that's going to play in City's favour or actually maybe be a little bit more worrying and work against us slightly?
I think it will work for us. I think the best team in the country at beating the press is Man City. They can pass the ball so quickly, one touch, two touch, and then so quick in the front half of the pitch. So it will suit us. The problem is when we do get the ball and we are attacking and we're camped in their half, Calvin Phillips, he plays that diagonal ball into the full-back position, and he's done it numerous times against Liverpool, and City like to have Kyle Walker pushing up and Mendy pushing up on the other side, so there will be spaces and there will be plenty of opportunity for Diaz to do his organising today.
With that diagonal ball then, so once that's played across, just a question here, so if Kyle Walker is tracking then, do we then need, so it's not a one-on-one, you're kind of needing someone, I'm guessing, behind Kyle to be covering in case he does go through, to try and always have two on that, the player that's kind of pushing through?
Yeah, I think because when you're attacking and you're pushing forward, if you do lose the ball, you want people to press the ball quickly. So having Kyle Walker up there and having two people pressing on the ball is great. But if they do manage to get out and get it to Phillips and then play that diagonal into space, that's when the trouble comes. So it's all about what we spoke about earlier with Diaz. You attack, you let the team attack, but you watch the game defensively and you look and you go, right, this could happen. So I'll move across here, Laporte, you come across and mark me or cover me. So it'll be an interesting, and like they say, with the tactical battle today, it'll be really good.
Another element, I think, what Richard would have been doing himself would have been saying, "Hey, Rodri, when he goes, you come across," and you wouldn't be arguing with Richard. That's how he'll be saying it. So that's how he gets the cover. That's what he's saying gently.
But that, I guess, is what we talked about actually ahead of that Leicester game, where you were saying it's so important to almost try and stop that ball being played that you're talking about, so it doesn't become a worry, Sean.
Yes, because when City play the way they play, with Leicester having got the result, the blueprint I think that clubs will see is when the fullbacks go forward, the space is in behind. So it has to be stopped at source. And no matter who we're playing a team like Leeds or whomever it be, I think it's about applying that pressure instantly. But at the same time, as Donny's saying, the centre-backs have got to be switched on. And being switched on is also about saying to Rodri, hey, 5 yards left. 10 yards forward, because then when that ball perhaps gets rolled into a player to get turned to then probably hit that diagonal, that ball is being that's where they're applying their pressure.
That's so interesting. So it can really come down to fine margins that 5 yards further across could make all the difference, Richard.
Yeah, that's it. And it's as much as they're going to press and they're going to be really good and they'll win the ball lots of times. Leeds will get out eventually. There will be times in the game when they do get out and that opportunity is on, and that's when you see the organisation. And it's that if Rodri's already in position and it looks like, oh well, he's just sweep that up, but someone's told them to be there. They've organised it themselves, and that's what's important. It's not about making last-ditch tackles. It's about being prepared before the situation arises.
Now, we have to talk about the game midweek in the EFL Cup. Manchester City took on Burnley, and we have those goals right here as City went on to a 3-0 win. Let's talk through these now. Sean, I need to come to you for this first one right here. We talked a little bit about Raheem Sterling as that striker. He knows how to score a good goal, doesn't he?
Well, he does. He knows where to be. I mean, of all the places to be, he's in the right place. Yeah. And that's where he needs to be. Again, you see City here penetrating. This is a most typical situation where a ball going towards a through ball and then a square pass for a tap in. I mean, I know it's Burnley and I scored against them loads of times, but I think I would have had maybe 6 on that day. But Sterling will continue to score goals when he plays in this 9 position.
Sean, and we're going to watch this Torres goal in a minute, and I will come back to that. But I wanted to ask you, because I've asked Jolien this a couple of times, and I'm just playing here devil's advocate, but I felt like Sterling could have maybe had 4 or 5 goals. Now, am I being too harsh on him, saying that, he should have had his hat-trick, or actually his 2 goals are good enough? Because there was 2 one-on-one chances where I feel now, given that he has been here 4 or 5 years and it has really kind of grown under Pep, that he should be finding the back of the net. Or am I being too
No,
critical?
I agree. I think when you get 2 one-on-ones, if you're missing 2 one-on-ones as a player that scores 30 goals, you're really disappointed. I mean, I would go home, I'd be disappointed that I hadn't scored a hat-trick because I had 2 one-on-ones. And to think I should have put one of those away. You're not guaranteed to score every one-on-one.
Of course.
But in a game when you talk about the best players, best players in the world, Messi don't get 2 one-on-ones and misses. So what I'm saying is that I think Sterling should have certainly had a hat-trick and scored one of those.
One thing I will say, I do love a stat, and this was a stat that I did find after the game. Thanks to Opta Joe, they provide all of my stats. Raheem Sterling has scored 32 goals for Manchester City since the start of last season, the most of any Premier League player across all competitions in this period. It does just prove, Richard, that he's a world-class player, and it's a joy to have him. And people might say he doesn't put away all of his chances, but it shows that he's doing something right.
Yeah, the improvement in him since he came to City has been massive, and he gets better every year. And too often people focus on the chances that he misses. You need to appreciate what he actually does, and getting into positions to score goals is great, but he's also getting into positions, he's missing chances maybe, but the work and everything that he does for the team is so valuable. So I think he's improving, like I say, every year, and hopefully again this season he can get over 20 goals and it'll be another successful one for him.
It was a great game as well for one of our other new signings, Ferran Torres. Of course, he came on a little bit at the end of the Leicester game, was quite quiet, and then had his start against Burnley, got the assist, and then also his goal, which was put away beautifully, kind of from the left bottom right-hand corner. We can see that again now, actually. It was a lovely quick break, and Sterling kind of fed him in here. How important, Sean, firstly, is getting that first goal when you arrive at a new club?
Well, it's really important. When you're a forward player today, you're expected to score goals and assist goals. So he would not have wanted to go perhaps a third and fourth game in it, looking and seeking for that goal. So he'll be now feeling a lot more at home, having scored that goal, much more settled, and I think we'll see the best of him.
We also were treated to seeing one of our young players from the academy grace our pitch against Burnley, young Cole Palmer. Assured performance for me in the centre of midfield. We've kind of come watch a few of his clips here. I think he's only 18, been at the club since he was around 5 or 6. Local lad from Wythenshawe. Nice to see another prospect coming through, Richard, and again with someone who actually has a lot of maturity for his age.
Yeah, I think it's the best thing for any fan when they see a young player come through from such a young age to develop as he has and to be playing first team football is brilliant. And in the game at the during the week, he looked calm, he looked assured, and he looked like he'd been taught the Man City way. You know, he understood exactly what to do when he came into the pitch, into the team, and hopefully there's plenty more performances from him.
Definitely, and he nearly scored as well, which, I mean, I keep on saying this. Him, Phil Foden, Tommy Doyle, Liam Delap, another one we need to speak about as well. They're living my dream. This was what I wanted as a kid, and they're all living that dream. Just to get one performance. Pep, if you're listening, please chuck me on in one of the early rounds of the EFL Cup, please, next year. I'm up for it. But Sean, we have to talk about this. He's a local lad. It means so much to Manchester City fans as well, just seeing that the players are coming through the academy. They're from Manchester, and they're making they're playing for Man City.
Yeah, I mean, this is absolutely brilliant, you know. And what's coming to mind is he's one of our own. He's one of our own. Yeah, this is brilliant, you know, because we've got this excellent academy here, and we're seeing some of these players now. They're trickling through, and we're seeing them coming through. And we always knew that when the occasion's right, Pep will be feeding them and giving them minutes. So it's really good that we've got these youngsters that are starting to get minutes in some of these games.
Final question around this mid-game week. Of course, it was on the back of that Leicester defeat, which we heard Pep answer questions on when we heard his pre-match thoughts. Richard, as a player, and you'll have been in that position yourself, that first game after you have suffered loss, and actually what was, I think, the biggest loss of Pep Guardiola's career, how important is it to bounce back as quick as you can?
It's huge. You don't really want to come into training after getting hammered and seeing all sad faces around the place. So the quicker you can get back out and have an opposition to make things right again is very important. And they've done it perfectly. Keeping the clean sheet, scoring the goals is great for them. And you always you have to remember your defeats because you have to try and learn from them along the way. But it's great to get it out of the way, to not worry about it anymore and start to look forward. And they'll go into this game obviously fully confident. They've scored the goals, they've kept clean sheets, and it's just one of those things. You do lose games, you just have to get over it as quick as you can. So to play a game in midweek and win it is really important.
After that defeat last week to Leicester, Pep Guardiola was asked about pre-season and how, if he feels the lack of pre-season actually affected this Man City squad. He said, well, against Wolves we were brilliant, and we come out, we have this defeat. But it just shows once again, Richard, that it's non-stop. You have the game in the midweek with the EFL Cup, then we're back here for the Premier League. We've had the Champions League draw, which we're going to touch on later on as well. So those games will be starting very soon. It's just non-stop, and these players, they need to be, well, they're warming up now, as we can see. They need to be ready every single, 3 to 4 days.
Yeah, the schedule is crazy for them this season, obviously, with what's going on everywhere. And there will be injuries, there will be players missing because of quarantine or whatever like that. So it's going to be a very difficult season. And that's why it's important that we are producing the young lads coming through and giving them game time, because they will be needed throughout the season. So it's hard. If you can get into a win and run, you could end up playing 20 games in 2-3 months or something like that. If you can win a lot of them, it can really change the look on the table.
Well, fingers crossed, we're going to continue that winning run. We're going to get the second one against Leeds tonight. Remember, kickoff is at 5:30. We're going to be joining you at half-time and at full-time. Now, we've had lots of football this week. We're going to talk about the Women's FA Cup semi-final, which took place. Not before, though, we touch upon a game that was happening outside here, the CFA. It was a derby, as our under-18s took on Manchester United. And Kyle, it finished 2-1.
It did. Now, as we were coming in, we saw it's absolutely chucking it down, but these lads were giving it their all. There was a penalty as I was walking into the CFA. Manchester City put that away after a red card. Manchester United equalised, but we saw a late winner for Manchester City. I don't care if it's under 18s. I don't care what age it is. Beating Manchester United definitely feels good. And I'm sitting next to a man I've seen lots and lots of goals. And it's a great one just to score against United. But another big game that we've had this week was Manchester City women. They're in FA Cup action against Arsenal. So let's see how Gareth Taylor's side got on.
Brilliant free kick, 1-0 Manchester City. Superb free kick that. You could sense it was coming. She was so focused. The referee increased the drama by waiting a little bit, paused. The stadium went absolutely deathly quiet. Bang, goal, 1-0.
Still sloppy. They need to move it quicker from left to right, open up the spaces.
A bit of space here for Jordan Nods. Oh, brilliant!
What do I know?
That's an equaliser, and that is exactly what she can do. Has done it throughout her career for club and country. Scored a spectacular goal in the quarter-final and gets an absolute world-class one here. 1-1. Looks good, Sam Lewis. He comes across all the way to the near post. White is in there. Puts it back to Lewis, and Manchester City are back in the lead. And Sam Lewis gets first goal for the club.
Gareth, congratulations! What a performance into the final of FA Cup. How does that feel?
Yeah, like you said, it feels great. I was really pleased with the performance. Sometimes, like when we played at Leicester and we spoke on Sunday, it's not about the performance, it's about getting through. And I always try and pride myself on the performance, but they battled hard on Sunday. And again, in the second period, had to battle hard after playing some of our best stuff, I thought, in the first half.
It feels really good. I'm really proud of the girls for the performance we put out, and we're really excited to go back to Wembley. So it's great. We're really happy.
Well, I mean, this is a successful team. There's players in there who've won FA Cups before and won trophies. So winning breeds winning, and that's what we want.
I'm like kind of new here, obviously, but this tournament is like so renowned, and I feel like I maybe only have a minimal understanding, but I know it means so much to everybody here, and it's coming to mean so much to me too, just to see the way my teammates reacted. So we're really excited to be in the final and to go back to Wembley.
150 appearances for Kara tonight as well. What an achievement that is.
Yeah, brilliant, you know, and it means a lot to her. She's a City fan through and through, and you know, she epitomises what we're about. Works really hard, good quality, and loads of determination.
So Manchester City women's manager Gareth Taylor there giving us his thoughts at full time, and of course the match-winning goal scorer Sam Mewis, who was one of our signings. That does take our women's team to the final, which will take place at Wembley 1st November against an Everton team that beat Chelsea. So very, very exciting, and we are sending all the luck to our women's team.
We are indeed. Now, as we said, it's been a massive week here for Manchester City and for all of our players, but one in particular. He's been picking up the awards left, right and centre. It is Kevin De Bruyne. He was named UEFA Champions League Midfielder of the Year. We can see him picking up this award and talking all about how much it meant to him, which I saw before the Champions League draw. And I've got to say, Sean, what a player he is. We are blessed to have a midfielder of his quality. He's picking up all these awards, and it's just incredible to watch him.
Yes, we are. We're very blessed. And, you know, he's probably thinking himself, why so long? Why it's taking so long? You know, but listen, what can we say that hasn't already been said about Kevin De Bruyne? I love him as a player because, again, when I watch a game and I'm high up and I'm thinking the pass should go there, well, he picks that pass. It should be switched there, well, he switches it there. Well, perhaps he cuts in. He should have a shot now with his weaker foot. Is it his weaker foot? It's top corner. You know, he's in a deeper position. He can thread balls from a deeper position. I mean, he just really ticks all the boxes as a midfielder, and I can't really speak any highly of him. I think it's well deserved because he's an excellent player.
We seem to be running out of adjectives and ways to describe the super king that is Kevin De Bruyne, but also as a fan, it's so refreshing to see one of our players, I think, finally get the accolades that they deserve. So congratulations to Kevin De Bruyne. And I do want to say a final thing on this. I don't know if you'll remember, there was an interview that Pep gave when he first joined, and he talks about he had a meeting with Kevin, and he says that I said to him, Kevin, you very easily should be in the top 3, 4, 5 players in the world. Cut to 3 seasons later, here we are. Top 3 player in the world, I'd say. Agreed?
I definitely agree with that one. Now, as I did say, that award came just before the Champions League draw, and we can talk a little bit about that. Manchester City were drawn with Porto, Olympiacos and Marseille, which I've got to talk about this, all right. Group C is incredible, but we can't go. I can't go to Greece. I can't go to Portugal. I can't do it. I'm absolutely gutted.
It would have been some great away trips, wouldn't it, this year? But we can still enjoy them from afar. It'll come back.
We'll be here in the We're
not really here. We're still here.
But I'm gutted about that. I can't lie.
Hey, Carl, that means more time with me. I think you'd be all right.
I'd rather be in Portugal. Not gonna lie.
I'm gone. Richard, I mean, people are saying it could have been a slightly tougher group, but I don't think there is an easy team in the Champions League. But that did seem to be favourable, and we have a good chance, I think, to go through into the knockout stages.
Yeah, you would imagine so. I think they fancy winning the games against those opposition, but it's nice really just not to get Shakhtar again and not to be playing the same games over and over. So it's a different challenge for the players, a different challenge for the manager, and it's just more experience, and hopefully it passes by and we're into the knockout stages for after Christmas.
Speaking of that experience, and I don't want to dwell on this too much because we are aware that is the one trophy I think that it's safe to say the club, the fans, we know we're all gunning for. But there was a really interesting interview with Cheeky this week who kind of was talking about maybe a different approach, which means not putting as much pressure on having to get this one elusive Champions League, but more kind of doing what you were saying, Richard, in just go calm, win the games, and know that our experience will see us through. Do you think that kind of might help us get further than we have done, rather than putting so much pressure on it, Sean?
Well, I think that'll certainly be occurred in and around the dressing room and around the club. But I think it's the outside noises that they have to sort of not listen to.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it can have an effect, because other people saying, well, City should win the group and actually end up with 10 clear goals or this or that, that's where it will start to put the pressure. But he's exactly right. Within the house, within City, it's about win the game, get on with the next one, respect the opposition, put on your best performance, and just move on to the next one.
Now, another thing we have to talk about is transfer deadline day. It is on Monday. And for me, it's normally sat in my bedroom watching the TV, watching the yellow banner go across and seeing the numbers tick down until it slams shut. But I want to hear what it's like for two players right now, because Sean, need to talk to you. Yeah. Transfer deadline day, what's your experience of it?
Well, my experience, when I was at Bristol City, about to come to Man City, and for me, this was my dream move. I was like, a big club, I want this to happen. Well, it's 10-5, and we're sending the response back through a fax machine, and it gets jammed. And my wife, yes, it gets jammed. And my wife's like, just get out of the way, So she comes, she ungems it, she sends it. All I know is it's like 2 minutes past 5, and I'm just thinking, it's not going to happen. So I'm absolutely breaking it, thinking, you're kidding me. You got to be kidding me. So I was really nervous as to whether or not it was going to go through. But it was a scary thing.
Yeah. We're glad it did.
Yeah. I'm just thankful. I mean, my childhood was full of memories from your goals. I'm just thankful that did happen. Richard, how about you? Any stories from transfer deadline day?
I've got, obviously, when I left Man City, I went to Aston Villa, and the deadline was at 5 o'clock, and I remember leaving the training ground at Aston Villa at 5:10 and going out, and Sky Sports are outside, and they're saying, oh, congratulations, have you signed and all that stuff. And I said, I haven't got a clue. I literally haven't got a clue, because at 5:10 nothing had been confirmed, the fax machine wasn't on or whatever it was, and you're waiting for a response. But then a couple of years later, I was at Aston Villa, and I came back from the Euros in 2012, and I was injured, and I got speaking to Malaga about going to Malaga on loan. So on deadline day, they ended up all through the day. I remember being in TGI Fridays with my passport, just waiting to go.
No way.
And TGI Fridays.
Late at night, then they put the offer in, and I got a phone call to say, we've had an offer from Malaga, but it's in Spanish and we don't know what it says.
So let's have a look at the numbers first of all.
It says there, Richard, you're going to play for free for 3 seasons. I mean, it's so good, like you say, as fans, we kind of love it, and there is a real buzz around the day. But for players, that must be so unsettling, really. And you kind of, is it nerve-wracking, or is it kind of just like that's the way that it is?
I think players will know, won't we? We know that what's going to happen or what's not going to happen. But then when it does get down to the last couple of minutes, like you, Sean, then you're really pushing for this move, and it's the pressure's going. Is it done? Is it done? Is it done? But generally, you'll have an idea 3 or 4 days leading into it, and you know it might take till deadline day. But yeah, when it gets down to the last few minutes, then it is a bit of a worry and a stress.
It will be. And just a question, and there might not actually be a clear answer, but you know, as a fan, you're also going, well, surely, you know, you'd think we've got 2-3 months, there's lots of time there, and it should all be done before. But why does it sometimes seem to take right till them 10 minutes before for a deal to go through, Sean?
Well, that was primarily because City was delaying with the offer. Right. So because I was sat there with my hand and the pen already. Where do I sign? I just ain't received the contract. But I think it's down to how our club sort of, you know, when they send it in the time, and today now it's a lot more stuff that's looked at, which delays things. Mm-hmm. You know, and Richard probably can speak to, you know, more about today's time, but certainly City had come in late, so therefore it left me with like best part of an hour or so to read through the contract, sign it, send it back. So I was still reading it and signing it while I was doing the fax. It was like, sad.
And disclaimer as well, for all our young fans that are watching now, a fax machine.
Yeah.
You're probably wondering, what is one of those? Well, either Google it or go and ask your parents.
Yeah. I have got to say, it's amazing, isn't it? I've just been doing some Google, Sean. 22 years ago, that was 1998. You were waiting for that fax, and we're still seeing fax machines used today. It's incredible. You'd think they'd be able to WhatsApp it, send it across, but no, fax machines are still being used. And yeah, 22 years.
Yes, and I was young then, like I'm young now.
You don't look a day older, Sean.
Exactly.
Okay, now we want to move on to something that we are wearing. I'm sure you might have been watching in this and gone, Kellen Carl, I rather like that shirt you're wearing. Well, thank you very much. But this is a brand new esports football top. Carlo, as well, I know that you kind of work a lot with our Manchester City players for the games. So this is a first, I think, for Manchester City, is it?
It is indeed. And we can see them, Shells and also Ryan Pessoa right there, sporting the kit, looking very smart, very cool. Probably look better than us as well, Cal. I'm not going to lie. Even though every time I've wore a new kit on these shows, I feel like I do rock it. It makes me feel like a professional, even though I'm absolutely freezing, and you can see the goosebumps on my skin right now. I feel like I look good on it. I'm not going to lie.
Cal, you always look good.
He does, but we have to admit he was doing some press-ups and weights earlier. Yeah, just let you all know that.
But we were saying that to Richard. It's funny. I mean, I've got to say, I actually really, really do love, I think, all our kind of new gear from Puma. But it's come on so much. I mean, there's just so many different tops and training tops, and we've got esports tops. Richard, it was never like that back in the day, was it?
Sure wasn't. No, it's great, isn't it? Because people want to be different, people want to be individuals, and there's so much where to choose from. Yeah, so it's great.
I mean, we got like four choices plus this now in the club shop. I mean, it's brilliant because you find something that you like, you know, and you could also find something that you can do weights and fit into, eh?
I mean, yeah.
It's so many. I just kind of really want to go to camera. Manchester City, sponsored by Puma.
Yeah.
We literally are.
We have got to say as well, even with that third kit, with this one as well, we can see the paisley. It's very Manchester. With the away kit, you've got the arches throughout Castlefield. Even the home kit with the mosaic. Everything feels very, very Manchester, which is incredible, and it links back to all of our incredible fans. Now, I'm not sure if you will have seen this week, but social media has been alight with lots of different videos, lots of different fun and games, and Alex and Luca are two Manchester City fans, very young, 13 and only 10, and they were celebrating the 25th anniversary of Watch the Story Morning Glory, and they put this video up on social media for the world to see. So that was Alex and Luca performing Don't Look Back in Anger, and we're actually joined by the two musicians right now. Alex, Luca, welcome to We're Not Really Here. Now, I've got to start with this. Alex, I'll start with you. Where did your love for music start? You're big Oasis fans, but you're a bit too young for them, aren't you?
Well, I don't know. It depends really, because about 3 years ago, my dad used to play guitar, and he'd play the same songs over and over again, and I'd just get a bit annoyed from them. So then I started playing myself, and then because Manchester, my dad played Oasis songs, I really got into Oasis. I love the tunes and everything. So yeah.
And Luca, tell me about your love for Oasis. Where did it start, or was it one of those things, you're the younger brother, so you just thought, I'm going to copy everything my older brother does?
Yeah. Do you like when I play guitar and like Oasis? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely love that. We've got to talk about Manchester City, because Noel and Liam, they're obviously big City fans, and maybe we're going to see the future Manchester City fans as musicians in you two.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, there's a big game today. We're not allowed in the stadiums, but Leeds are finally back in the Premier League, and used to, you're not even old enough to have ever seen them in the Premier League before, so it's a big one. Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, we are really. I'm going to watch it.
What score do you think it's going to be?
I rate 2-3. No, 3-2 to City. Not 2-3 to Leeds.
Are you both going with that one? 3-2 City?
3-2 City. Yeah.
Perfect. Alex, Luca, thank you so much. I'm going to make sure that we retweet that video as well, because everyone needs to see it. Enjoy the game, and I'll speak to you soon, or we'll see you on the telly at some point.
Hopefully, yeah.
See you soon. Have a good one.
Thank you so much. Bye.
It's our absolute pleasure. Thank you, Alec and Lucas. So great to have them on. I'm surprised that when they came on, they didn't have the shades on and kind of were a bit miserable in the interview. You know, the rock and roll stars. But no, really great video. Do go check that out as well in its entirety. Speaking of the Gallagher brothers, of course, we know they are so kind of ingrained in our club, and we have obviously seen them around a lot. I was wondering, across your playing time, did you ever come across Noel or Liam at all in your time? Sean, I'll begin with you.
Well, I'm probably the only one that can't differentiate them, but I'll say this: we played a game, right? I think it was Fulham. We played. I scored a hat trick, and we were going to the concert at Trafford, and they got us all in these boxes and everything. And I was just like, yeah, I had a friend come over from Bermuda, and we're all in the boxes anyway. They're about to start in the show, and they're saying, yeah, we got Feed the Goat up in the box. Well, it's only 60,000 started singing Feed the Goat. I was like, what a concert.
That's it. Just leave.
I was like, if I had a mic, but it was awesome. Yeah, it was absolutely brilliant.
Epic. I mean, but did it top here and Feed the Goat chanted at Main Road though, Sean?
Sadly didn't.
There we go. That's what we like to hear. Did you ever come across them, Richard?
I met them, separately, because I don't think they were on best terms at the time. But I met them just at games. I've seen them afterwards, and brilliant. You know, really big supporters, and they love it. And they're so into it, which makes it great for players, because they're coming up to you and they go, wow, it's Liam and Noel Gallagher, but then they're like that almost to you. So it's nice to meet them.
That's it. Right, now let's have a quick look at our players today. They are warming up at Elland Road. We saw in Pep's interview that it was absolutely miserable, just as miserable it is here in Manchester. You can see Edison there, making sure he's staying warm. It's 10 minutes to go until kick-off. These guys are getting ready. And Sean, Leeds, we spoke a little bit about how much of a massive club they are. What's one of your biggest memories of playing against them?
Scoring against them. I have a little soft spot for Leeds because, you know, I haven't spent a little time at Rotherham, but at Yorkshire. So, I know it's not Leeds, but at Yorkshire. So that's my little soft spot. That's as far as it goes. But it's really great to have Leeds back. And, you know, I know fans ain't there, but Leeds fans, they're brilliant. They create the atmosphere. But more importantly, Bielsa as a manager, being there at Leeds, I think they're going to be more than comfortable in the league in terms of how they do, and I'm really looking forward to this game because I think we've got two of the best minds managing today's game.
The last time that Leeds were in the top flight was back in 2003-2004 season, and when they played City, Leeds actually won 2-1. But at the end of the season, City finished 16th, Leeds 19th.
Get in.
They might have beat us, but they got relegated, so it's all right. It's okay.
Richard, you were of course in the heart of our defence during that season, and for those who will not have seen Leeds in the top flight, what were Leeds like as a club, and kind of what were they about playing wise back then?
I think back then, I mean, that season was just everything came crashing down for them. They'd had all the success, they'd had the Champions League semi-finals, and it just all came crashing down for them. But Leeds are a huge club. They were a really successful club a long time ago, but even in that period when Dave O'Leary was there, they built a really strong side, and they looked like they were going to win a league title. They never quite got that, I think, at the time, but it was a real shame what happened to them, and it was sort of similar to in terms of what happened with Man City when we went down a couple of divisions. But for them, it's taken a really long time to get back, but they've come back, and they seem to have come back with a bit of style, and they'll be a great asset to the Premier League.
Really looking forward to this game. So we have just under 10 minutes away from kickoff as Manchester City take on Leeds at Elland Road. Of course, the rain is absolutely throwing it down. I love it, because the question is, can Ruben Diaz do it on a rainy night in Leeds? Hopefully the answer will be yes. If you have just joined us before kickoff, we can quickly run you through the team that Manchester City will be playing against Leeds. Kyle?
Yes, so in that wet and drizzly Saturday evening, it will be Ederson, Benjamin Mendy, new boy Ruben Diaz, Aymeric Laporte. I'm still going to call him I'm Eric Laporte, as he said on his Twitter. Kyle Walker, Rodrigo, Ferran Torres, Kevin De Bruyne, Riyad Mahrez, Phil Foden, and Raheem Sterling. I mean, I've got to say, it's incredible watching this team week in, week out, listening to some of those names right there. And they are travelling to Leeds, and we've got the Leeds team as well. They'll be coming up against a very strong Leeds team at Elland Road in Meisler, Cooper, Koch, Ayling, Phillips, Alioski, Dallas, Cleach, Costa, Roberts, and Bamford as well. One thing we need to talk about, managers going head-to-head. Pep Guardiola against Marcelo Bielsa. I mean, Kel, this is tacticians going head-to-head. It's going to be a game of chess.
I think it really is, and there's been some great interviews this week. There's a lot of a mutual respect and admiration, I think, for each other. And I think it'll come as no surprise how much I think Bielsa... They came across each other in La Liga when Bielsa fronted for Bilbao against Barcelona. I think as far as kind of tacticians and seeing two teams play up, that's going to be, I think, interesting for a fan, because it's not something that we might be so used to, is real kind of footballing brains going head-to-head, Richard.
Yeah, and I think you see it more and more in the Premier League this season. You see how Liverpool are pressing and Arsenal are trying to play against them, how Man City are doing things. Sorry. Yeah, so it's going to be really interesting. I think both sides have their own style. Both sides want to attack. So Man City dominate the possession more often than not. So how Leeds react not having the ball, can they press as well, and can they hit them on the counter attack more often?
Right, we've been asking for everyone to get in touch via social media, as you can do, using that hashtag WNRH. People have been tweeting throughout the week. One I've touched on is I'm Eric Laporte. Aymeric Laporte has changed his Twitter handle to that, just because City fans thought his name was actually Eric, and the I'm was just him adding it in. But another one that we did see this week was there was a trend going around as the Queen, as Manchester in football tops, I should say. Manchester City got involved in this one, and I think we can see this just here, all right? We've got the Manchester City third Paisley kit, and the Queen looks very, very similar to Zinchenko in that kit right there. Another one that we can see is... Gambo_EJ saying, come on you Man City, supporting the boys loudly from Nigeria. Then we've also got Citizen Shiva. This beauty has just arrived right on time for match day, showing us his away kit. Then another one, Jake Flanagan, patiently waiting for Man City to kick off with him and the little one in their Manchester City kits. Then we've also got Balaka Frank feeling so anxious, chance to watch the game. Let's do this. Man City in his home kit. I'm just loving all of these kits, and don't be anxious. You got nothing to worry about today. So if you want to get in touch, you can do. Make sure you use that hashtag WNRH, and we'll try and get a few of those messages up at half-time.
So teams, I believe, are in the tunnel ready to come out. It's a 5:30 kickoff, so 5 minutes to go. Just before we leave you to go watch the first half, remember, we're back at half-time, then full-time. Prediction time, please, gentlemen.
My favourite.
Richard Dunne has also got a brand new mic, so for all of you worrying at home, don't worry. Sean, we'll begin with you. Prediction on the game tonight.
I think we've got the confidence from playing the last game, so I'm going to go 3-1 City.
Strong, 3-1 from Sean. What about you, Richard?
I'd like them to keep a clean sheet today. I think with Diaz back in the team, I'd like them to get off to a good start. So I'll go for 2-0.
Love that. Kyle?
All week I've been saying it's going to be high goal scoring today. 4-3 Manchester City. You heard it here first. We're going to win. It's going to be very nervy, but I think, 4-3, we'll take it.
This is because, Kyle, you've started very strong this season on predictions. Kyle, last time we were here, not only called the result, but called 2 goal scorers as well. So force to be reckoned with.
Raheem Sterling, Phil Foden, Kevin De Bruyne, and another one from Raheem Sterling. There we are.
Oh, wow. Okay, right. Well, come join us at full time to see if Kyle got it spot on again. If he does, there is some weird juju going on here. We'll get into that. But no, we'll be back at half time and we'll be back at full time. Enjoy the game. Manchester City against Leeds at Elland Road. First time since 2004. What an absolute treat. Come on, City.